Welcome to the Impact of Educational Leadership podcast with ID3 for Isaiah Jerome III. This show was designed to provide an exclusive forum on educational achievement gaps related to learner success while discovering relationships and family issues in a diverse setting.
This is another night of the Impact of Educational Leadership. This is episode 35. I'm your host, ID3 for Isaiah Jerome III. Tonight's panelists are Dr. Christopher Barksdale and Mr. Jason Campbell. First, let me tell you a little bit about Dr. Barksdale. He's the principal of Young Men's Leadership Academy, YMLA for short. His focus is on equipping economically disadvantaged students. He has a plethora of experience. He was the assistant principal for the Ivan ISD. He was a secondary mathematics teacher and an instructional coach, also for Ivan ISD, and got his degrees from Texas Southern University. Also, he got his master's in education and education administration, Long Island University, Brooklyn campus. His bachelor's in early childhood education and teaching, Mr. Jason Campbell. He is the principal for Hutchins High School, and he was featured on Good Morning Dallas. He undergirded at Williams Hutchinson High School. He undergirded and assisted in the opening of a Fine Arts Collegiate Academy, preparing students for careers in music and in dance. So with that being said, gentlemen, please say hello to the people.
Good evening, everyone.
Well, tonight's topic is one that is sweeping the nation. That is, what is the true goal of education after COVID-19? Seemingly, we must again reimagine what learning environments could do for a person. Knowledge alone is not enough. Truthfulness and compassion should be fundamental parts of all-inclusive learning. We are to be people who are well-read, critical thinkers, who value others, and seek their well-being. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. made mention of this. He believed that we must not desire to use higher education solely for personal gain, most likely as a means to escape their current state of poverty and oppression. But he warned that this could lead to them in becoming ourselves future oppressors. Tonight, we will discuss what ways school leaders are equipping their students with knowledge and thinking skills through compassion and integrity, aligning to standards, promoting growth mindsets, and ensuring all children are performing well academically. First, from the panel, I would like to ask Dr. Christopher Barksdale my first question. Sir, what are some of the core leadership values you and your staff at Young Men's Leadership Academy are using to promote growth mindsets?
So for the Young Men's Leadership Academy leadership team, we follow Dallas ISD's mission and commitment to equity and excellence for all students. And so that has been demonstrated over the past several weeks just by providing meals to families in the Pleasant Grove community, as well as technology access to all of our students even before we left for the spring break so that learning could continue.
Thank you, sir. You know, the thing about it, a lot of people don't really know, a lot of people that are listening to the podcast is not from Texas or Dallas, and so they don't know even the history of the demographics where you are working at, where you've been commissioned Thank you so much for that response. With that being said, my next question is for my next panelist on this podcast. I'm so excited to have him here tonight, and I just want you to just take the time, Mr. Jason Campbell. My next question is for you, sir. Give us your thoughts, right, and give us your heart tonight. Students prepare to, unfortunately, repeat the same grade next year because of this COVID-19 epidemic.
We are in a mindset of we're here to support our students, we're here to support our parents, and this is all about right now continuing the learning process, continuing to push ourselves even though we might not be physically at the school, but our goal is to continue learning, and that's all of our goals in life. My grandparents told me a long time ago, the minute you stop learning, you stop living. And so this is about, learning is not only just tied to the school, but it's in life. So this is a learning experience for all of us. Our teachers right now are doing a great job creating some interactive lessons. They're continuing that march to push our students to grow academically. We know that it's a lot. We know it's a lot of anxieties out there with the COVID-19 being in effect and the shelter in place being in our city, and people are not used to it. And so our staff, we are really there to support them. It's not about pass or fail for us. It's about helping them to continue to grow. And we know that knowledge is power, and we know that as we educate them, if that's just 4 or 5 30-minute sections out of the day, that they're able to not focus on what's going on around them, but to concentrate on something outside. We know that that'll help. So if I were to say anything at this point, I would just tell the students and the parents, hey, just stay in touch. We're here to support. Stay in touch. Call us, email us. Our teachers are there, ready. Our counselors are in action. And so just continue to lean on us. We got you.
Thank you, Mr. Campbell. What I like about your answer is I heard so much wisdom and experience in your thoughts there. And that type of, I would say, style and class is what we are needing, to see successful, positive growth. Research is saying you start seeing achievement gaps, those achievement gaps starting to narrow and starting to close, right? And you start seeing positive growth development in its highest form. And that's what we're going to really need, especially after this whole pandemic of the COVID-19. So thank you again, Mr. Jason Campbell, for that wonderful response. My next question goes to Dr. Christopher Barksdale. Dr. Barksdale, what are some of the tools you and your staff are using? What are some of the tools that you and your staff are using to promote human culture and vision moving forward? That's my question, sir.
So as we are in this unfortunate circumstance, again, just like I think Mr. Campbell said, and just like we talked about at the beginning, we are working to ensure that learning still continues at home. And so our teachers have done a phenomenal job of trying to make at-home learning as normal as possible for our students. Our teachers have worked very hard to develop Google Classroom platforms where our students are assigned work. They have an opportunity to interact student to student, really promoting that college readiness culture. And, like we all have participated in online courses and engaged in discussion board activities. So they are really trying to set up our students and prepare them not only for college, but to be successful in high school. And we've been, really wanted to launch this whole e-learning and at-home initiative, but we have been thrust into this just due to this pandemic. So it has had some pluses that have come out of an unfortunate situation. So all of our teachers have Google Classroom, as I stated, and also teachers have the opportunity to use the Zoom platform, which has been very helpful for educators across the nation to just connect face-to-face with students and teachers. Teachers at the beginning of the week, they post their work, but they are also able to do like direct teach and record themselves. So there's a lot of educational resources that we are sharing. We have our website that we are putting out to students, and just trying to make things as simple and user-friendly as possible for parents and students.
Excellent response. Dr. Barksdale, thank you for that. Mr. Campbell, let me ask you this next question. You know, I've seen you work some years back, and I see the passion that you have for your children, for your kids, for your students. And I read in your bio that, and I looked in your bio that you have assisted in building this new Fine Arts Collegiate Academy for your kids, and you've been preparing them to go off to do bigger and better things in the music career, in the fine arts career, and dance, and things of that nature. Aligning that with what Dr. Barksdale laid down for us, which is talking about the children's a level of support, whether it be virtual learning, the development of the Google Classrooms, and how they're being able to navigate and get responses back from the teachers, and how the teachers are jumping right on board with that. Based on what Dr. Barksdale was saying and what I heard from you, and just from what I know about you, what my concern is, Mr. Jason Campbell, is how are you and your staff members keeping track of the learning sessions through the virtual classrooms? That's my question, sir.
All right. So Dr. Barksdale touched on a lot of that. Teachers are doing a phenomenal job in the classrooms, in the Google Classrooms, in the Power School classrooms. But we got to remember that we're in a people business, and it's also about touch points. And so our teachers are accessible all day. Their office hours are there. Their numbers are there. Their emails are there. So when students are reaching out and parents are reaching out, they're giving live responses. They're also looking at their attendance and who's submitting assignments and who's not. And based on that, they're making those phone calls, making sure that the families are okay, the students are able to come online and complete their assignments and continue the learning. But it is a human profession. And so the Zoom classroom has been popular. So these are times where my staff has decided, hey, this day of the week, this hour of the day, they promote it to all their kids. I'm on live. You can ask me questions. We can all see each other. Because that's an aspect of school also, the social side of it. So being able to see your classmates and be able to give them a high five and smile at them. And so the teachers are really learning that, you know, just as you said, they're learning how to pick up the online resources and using them to even bring that social side into the learning platform. So the Zoom lesson is making touch points with our kids. The office hours between their phone calls, that's how they're making sure that we're making sure that our students are progressing and that our families are okay.
Dr. Jason Campbell, sir, you really have a way of simplifying complex things, and I really like that about you, sir. And that comes along with that experience that you have in the realm of education and educational leadership. So I thank you for that response. That's going to help so many people understand, how you see it, how the leaders are seeing how it should go, in a perfect world, right? But we know that it's not a perfect world, because we know that there are some things that are stopping all the kids from getting onto the internet, like hotspots, right? Because we do know that everyone is not fortunate to be in the Dallas ISD like you gentlemen are, where they are supplying their students with hotspots so that they can get on to the internet and take these classes so that they can at least finish the school year, right? And so, but we know that there are some school districts that do not have these set in place, and so that some, we don't know yet, but there's talk around town that some kids may have to even repeat that same grade just because of this outbreak that happened. And so what I like about the district that both you gentlemen are in and both you gentlemen are representing, right, is that you support your district in a way, okay, that is selfless. What I mean by that is, it's not about you, it's about the other person, it's about the kids, it's about how do we make these children successful, right? We know we got to do that by making their families successful. We got to do it by making the community successful, because we know that it's the environment, right, that raises the kids, that help the kids develop. It's not just the school, but it's also the community, because this kid is seeing the community when they leave the house every morning. Before they come to school, if they're walking to school, they're probably stopping to get something to eat, right? And so those partnerships are what you gentlemen are working effortlessly with to create a positive environment, a positive learning environment, a positive setting for these children. All right, and with that being said, Dr. Christopher Barksdale, my next question is for you, sir. How are you and your staff members supporting students and families on the front lines during this coronavirus outbreak?
So I think to answer that question goes back to a lot of what you were just saying of how given our district, Dallas ISD, is, and how much we have done to ensure that families and students are taken care of. And it goes back to that commitment to excellence and equity for all students. So what are we doing on the front lines? We are out, it has started now once a week, providing meals for family to last them for a week. So we've had a significant, a large amount of turnout of families that are in need, that have been benefited by these meals. We've had staff members that have just been willing to come in and make sure that they're helping out to distribute these meals to parents and families. We have also been and provided several opportunities for students where if they missed us before we left for spring break, we provided a lot of access and opportunities for students to still come up to the campus and pick up laptops so that they can engage in and access their learning materials at home. We are also, the Dallas ISD Board of Trustees has been so gracious to approve a significant amount of money to go towards the purchase of hotspots for students. So we're working to make sure that every family has internet access at home so that they can engage with us, not just now during the pandemic, but again, this has developed and created opportunities for the future.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Barksdale. That was exactly what I was looking for. I'm sure that's what the audience wanted to hear and learn. Again, there are going to be so many people listening to this podcast, different districts, different school leaders are going to be listening in, and they're going to implement, they're going to use, some of these ideas that you gentlemen are talking about and speaking about tonight. And so I want to applaud you on this movement. With that being said, I know we're almost out of time here. Mr. Jason Campbell, what tools are you and your staff members setting in place to relieve some of the students, and relieve, what I mean by relieve, set at ease some of the students' fears and anxieties, which there's a lot now, because so we're in the middle of a peak of this pandemic crisis. So what are some ways that, or what are some things that your members and yourself are setting in place at your school to relieve some of the students and their parents' fears and anxieties during this pandemic crisis? That's my question, sir.
Okay, so a part of that is your focus has to be spot on. And remember what your focus is. Our focus is our students. Our focus is our communities. And then some things that you can do structurally that we've done that will help ease some of the anxiety of, I've gone from going to 4 classes a day every day of the week, and now I have all my classes coming at me online. I have to get all this work done. And so looking at the structure is very important of who you're serving. And so one of the things we did that kind of allows students to take some of that anxiety away as far as trying to complete the coursework is we set a stone on our campus, hey, all assignments are due on Friday at this time. No matter when you go in, it's due at this time. And so instead of the students thinking, oh, I have to get this done right now, during like we do on a traditional day when they're at the campus, now they have that luxury of, okay, I can pick this up a little bit at night. And I've gone into some of our classrooms, and guess what? I see some of the kids in the middle of the night working at their pace. And so making some subtle moves like that with your structure, remembering your students. A lot of them have brothers and sisters and siblings at home that they have to take care of, and providing different opportunities instead of trying to be so rigid with the schedule like we do during a normal school day. The other thing that we're doing is just making sure that we're keeping a watchful eye. We're looking for subtle signs that students or parents might say through a text message, might say it as you're on the phone with them, might say it in one of the chat rooms. And our teachers have been real good about, Mr. Campbell, the student might be having some anxiety issues. And so they'll call the student and the parent. The counselors are involved and they're on calls. They'll contact the parents. Just the other day we had a young lady, she just sent a text in the chat room. This is too much. And so the teacher went straight into action, contacted her and the parent. The counselor followed up with a call. And at the end of the day, we were able to walk them through those moments. So between that and then our support staff is making calls, making sure that we keep our students engaged. And it's just all about them at this point. And I think that's the goal of our district. We're about kids. And that's one thing. I've been in Dallas 20 years. And that's one thing that shines through every single year. It's about the kids. And so our message right now is encouragement, support. And in the end, we want our families and our students to know that we got you. We all got a role to play right here. You have work. We're going to support you through it. And in the end, we're going to make sure that you make it through it.
And I have to ask both of you guys a question, okay? And so with that being said, I want Dr. Barksdale to go first, and then Mr. Campbell, you after Dr. Barksdale. But give me a success story, this year, 2020. But give me a success story of, somebody. It could be a staff member, it could be you, or it could be a student. It doesn't matter. But give me a success story, and I think that's going to be a testimony that people really need to hear.
Person, I think just in thinking this last 2 weeks has been a success, and I think our staff is so committed to just providing excellent opportunities to students that we had a really smooth transition. I can think of one of my teachers. We just had a faculty meeting yesterday, a virtual faculty meeting, where teachers had the opportunity and platform to share out what's working well with this whole at-home learning process. And one of my 8th grade social studies teachers, this was nothing new to him, this whole Google Classroom and at-home learning process. He didn't have to go through a lot of changes because he has been doing Google Classroom for the last 2 years. So he shared out to the staff that he has about a 95% success rate just with engaging with students. And I know across the nation, a lot of people are saying the hardest thing is, we gave out the technology, we have provided the access for students at home, but the student engagement and, it's a challenge and it looks differently for every student. But successfully, this specific teacher, and I will shout out his name, Mr. Rodriguez, our 8th grade social studies teacher, has done a phenomenal job just setting up systems since day one, that he has such a high engagement and attendance rate with his students because this was nothing new for his students. So like I said previously, I think this is a great opportunity for teachers who have been thinking of blended learning, flipped classroom mindset, and this whole pandemic just thrust us into truly 21st century learning. And I will shout out another success that we've had is some of the most difficult and hard to reach students that, were most difficult and had the most attendance issues and had a hard time getting to class. Through this at-home learning process, we have been able to connect with some of our most hard to reach students.
Mr. Barksdale, I think you nailed that on the head. You hit that nail on the head. I would ditto everything you just said. The whole last 2-3 weeks has been phenomenal. To go from a traditional brick and mortar to totally online and to do it in the fashion that we've done it, it just still blows my mind. Looking at our student responses, our students are really enjoying it. And even looking at it from a different aspect, I think I've talked to more parents within the last 3 weeks than what I've seen in a while. And so that parent engagement, some of those students that we normally don't get a chance to engage with their parents, it's brought all of us a lot closer. And so I feel a lot closer to my parents and my community because of this. Because right now, we're communicating constantly. And so I think that's going to be one of those things as far as it's going to carry over of, hey, the school had our back and we got the school back. And in the end, hey, they feed my child academically. They're providing the need with the meals because some of our parents have needed and they have large families. So we're hitting the needs of our community. We're serving them. And that's what school is about. And I think if nothing else comes from this time, I think that it has unified us as a community once again.
Well, we are out of time tonight. This was a very powerful and insightful discussion. Some people think that these virtual classrooms are a peak into what some of us grew up with, looking at on TV, cartoons. Okay, you must forget the Jetsons. Others know that this is a sign for the people of the world, the people of this planet to come together and unite as one. Tonight's panelists were Dr. Christopher Barksdale and Mr. Jason Campbell. Tonight has been another night of the impactful impact of education leadership. This is episode 35. I'm your host, ID3 for Isaiah Drone III.
Welcome to the Impact of Educational Leadership podcast with ID3 for Isaiah Drone III. This show was designed to provide an exclusive forum on educational achievement gaps related to learner success while discovering relationships and family issues in a diverse setting.